have a 10-round lightweight bout. Chuck Tschorniawsky and Billy Irwin squaring off. Billy Irwin, 30 years of age. He's 23-3 with 13 knockouts. Born in Niagara Falls, Canada, he has won his last 7 straight decisions. However, in that span, he's lost 3 of his last 6 overall. Not necessarily a very big puncher. The man he's going against out of North Philadelphia, Chucky Tschorniawsky, better known as Chucky T. He's 15-1-1 with 8 knockouts. 16 of his 17 career bouts have been in the state of Pennsylvania. Not a lot of serious competition on his resume.
One guy each fighter.
There you get a look at the legendary Blue Horizon for tonight's action. The referee is Joe O'Neill, and let's take a look at the Pennsylvania rules for all of tonight's bouts. 3 knockdown rule is in effect, so is the standing 8 count. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Accidental cuts, they'll go to the scorecards after 3 rounds are complete. Prior to that, it will be a technical draw. Chucky T getting set for tonight's bout against Billy Irwin in the lightweight division. Of course, at the Blue Horizon, Teddy, never a very big ring, as you can see right there, 18 feet by 18 feet inside the ropes. This is a brawler's paradise.
And that's what the Blue Horizon is all about. And there's such a thing as blue space or blue plate specials. Well, these 2 fighters are Blue Horizon specials. They come to fight. Nothing real fancy about them, but definitely the more experienced guy, the guy who's been in there with the better opposition, is definitely Billy the Kid Irwin.
We saw Billy Irwin here on ESPN2 back in October the 2nd. He lost an 8-round split decision to Gerald Gray. Irwin did finish strong, but could not pull it out. Prior to that, in May, he lost to Ahmad Santos in a 10-round decision. We take a look at the knockout ratio. For Irwin, 50%. 5 of his 13 have come in the first round. Chucky T, 5 of his 8 have come in the first round.
In that last fight that you just referred to for Billy the Kid Irwin, when he lost to Gerald Gray, he said yesterday at the interviews that he lost 10 pounds going into that fight. He said he knows he did it the wrong way, he trained the wrong way, and he was lethargic. He said it will not happen tonight.
Irwin in the red, a 4-time Canadian champion. He was part of the Canadian 1992 Olympic team in Barcelona. He was defeated in the opening round of that competition, but he did represent his country in the Olympic Games.
One thing about Irwin is sometimes he just waits a little too long. Walking guy, experienced, been in there with the better guys, much better opposition than Chucky T. But if you don't move your hands, you're not going to win fights. You could be out-hustled. Right now, Chucky T is just outboxing him, taking what Irwin is giving him. The outside, and he's flurrying and getting away before there's any answers.
Irwin's a bit taller, but the reach is equal. 67 inches for both men.
Similarity to not too long ago, Jose Lopez fought a fight with Page. And in that fight, Lopez, who's a real good fighter, just waited too much. And Irwin has the reputation of sometimes not moving his hands enough, and you can be out-hustled.
We're just getting underway. Billy Irwin and Chucky T in a 10-round lightweight bout. Our main event, Orlando Canizales squaring off against Richard De Jesus. And on behalf of Teddy and the rest of us here on Friday Night Fights, our condolences to the family of the great Archie Moore, and we will take a look back at his legendary career throughout the course of the program tonight.
And it was legendary. That was the right word. Great.
Closing seconds of round number 1. Chucky T in the blue, to this point, outboxing Billy Irwin in the scheduled 10-round bout. There's the bell to end round number 1. Well, don't forget, tonight in our main event, we have a 10-round featherweight bout. Former IBF bantamweight champion Orlando Canizales looks for his 50th professional win as he squares off against 31-year-old Richard De Jesus of Wilmington, Delaware. That's coming up in tonight's main event on Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas and Orlando Canizales. Teddy is a classic, and what better place than the Blue Horizon?
There's no better place. You know, the old Yankee Stadium, the old timers, they would get mad at you, or they get mad at people if an outfielder came into that place after the great Joe DiMaggio, the great Babe Ruth, guys like that roamed the field. If another guy just walked in, an ordinary guy, they get mad. Well, you know what? If a position could be a weight class, then you know what? The great Jeff Chandler used to roam this canvas pretty darn good. He was a great bantamweight. And who better to come in here as a bantamweight than Orlando Canizales, who held the bantamweight title longer than anyone else. I don't think Jeff Chandler would mind him coming into his old workplace.
Yeah, that's coming up in tonight's main event, and it should be a good one. We'll see if Canizales can put himself in position to make one more run at a world championship. Round number 2 underway between Chucky Tschorniawsky, Chucky T as he goes by, and Billy Irwin, the 30-year-old from Toronto, Canada.
What's happened so far in this first round, I gave the first round to Chucky T, just boxing a little bit more. Two things can happen. You got two guys that like to come and fight. So Irwin is going to look to impose himself. He's the more experienced guy. He's been in these fights. He figures that if Chucky T stays in front of him, he's going to get to him. He even said that to us yesterday. He said, I'll get to this guy if he stays. So it's up to Chucky T to box a little bit. If he does that, he's got a chance.
And there you look at the numbers in round number 1, and you see Chucky T much busier, a bit more accurate, but just much busier, and he continues that here in round number 2.
And you have two walk-in type guys, Bob. The one sometimes who decides to be a little bit different, a little smarter, usually has the edge. But if Chucky T stays in front, you'd have to give the edge to Irwin because he's just been in tougher fights. He knows what it's about. He's tasted the waters.
But I guess the question you could say, in those tougher fights for the most part, he's come up short. In that last fight in October against Gerald Gray, it was a split decision, but Irwin just wasted too much time early, came on late, lost to Ahmed Santos, did have a win against Andre Prey back in 1997, a split decision, and was a former British Commonwealth champion.
Yeah, that was a big fight for him in '96. He beat David Tita, and he came up big in that.
Nice combination by Irwin. Good left hand followed by a right. So the best action so far from Billy the Kid Irwin.
And that's what you want to see. You don't want to see too many rounds go by that he doesn't move his hands like he did in his last fight with Gray.
Good straight right hand by Irwin. Now Irwin finding the mark.
Irwin learned something from his last fight. He's not going to wait 5 rounds to move his hands.
Well, the right hand is finding a home to the side of Chucky T's head. And there it is again. Billy Irwin with a very impressive round 2.
And Chucky needs to get off those ropes. And he has to go back to the boxing that it was effective for him in the first round. He's got a good chin, but how long can he take this?
Target practice for Chucky T. Left
and
hook
that
to the
body shot is going to be the difference. You can take the headshot, but boy, those body shots, they stay with you.
Chucky T trying to hold on. Irwin just teeing off.
Irwin was right. He said, I'm too experienced for this guy to stand in front of me. The referee's taking a look.
Joe O'Neill taking a look. And he will give the standing 8 count. Remember, standing 8 count in effect in the state of Pennsylvania. But a blistering pace by Billy Irwin in the second half of round 2. And there's the bell to end the second round. Let's listen into the corner of Chucky T. Angel Vargas, his trainer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michelle.
Teddy, let's take a look. Not much going on in the corner of Chucky T. Let's take a look at where he got hurt, and I think it was a left hand to the body.
Oh, yeah, it sure was. He was taking those head shots, but he was smart. He was going to the head here, Irwin, and then all of a sudden he's going to, well, we missed it. It came a little before that. Those were all head punches, obviously. You don't need me to tell you that.
It was a left hand to the body that started it all.
There's a right hand. Didn't do him too much good there. But he moved in, Irwin, nice and calm, putting punches together. He's going to find an opening. Nothing up top too much. So he goes downstairs. He's going to go outside the elbow. And that's the one that put him in bad shape. The elbow's in, go outside.
And here comes Irwin as we start round number 3. Can Chucky T answer?
Chucky T needs to get on those legs, or like the old timers would say, on that bike. First round was good, but Irwin warmed up. Irwin was absolutely right in his assessment yesterday. If this guy stands in front of me, I'm just a little too experienced for him.
Teddy, we should explain to the fans that most of the places we go to, there is no standing 8 count. In the state of Pennsylvania, there is, and referee Joe O'Neill issued one. That scored like a knockdown. Yes, that's why I gave it a 10-8 round. And obviously, real quickly, Irwin jumped ahead in this fight. Chucky T is not a big puncher. You can see that. Irwin is the better puncher here. And he's looking to pot shot him now. In other words, when Chucky T throws too many punches, Irwin throws in between. All right, let's take a look at some power numbers in round number 2. A dominant round for Billy Irwin. And take a look at that. 76 to 28 thrown, and he landed 29 more. And here comes Irwin again. And he was lucky, Chucky T that is, that it was at the end of the round that body shot landed. Otherwise, it would have been pretty hard with any time left to survive. He's fighting Irwin's fight right in front of the warhorse Irwin. He should be using his legs. He should not stand in front of him. Well, Teddy, the other thing that you have to take into account here about Chucky T, a Philadelphia fighter is not on the championship level. Movement is not exactly a forte. It's brawling. Now, what makes the definition of a Philly fighter is brawling, but if you're going to go to the next echelon, we're not saying these guys will. You have to be smart, not just tough. Good left hand from Irwin, and there's really nothing on the punches of Chucky T when he does throw them. Take a look at that. No, there's not. He's been hurt. He wasn't a big puncher coming in here, but some of that was taken away by the punches he's taken. When you get hurt, especially to the body, some of the zip comes off your punches, and some of the interest, some of the mental power comes off him. And Chucky T has tried to throw a little left hook every now and then, and I think Irwin might just step back and time it with a right. He's had a better round here, but it's because Irwin's only throwing one punch at a time. If Irwin would put them together, go to that body. Body shot hurt him again. See, he set it up by going up top first. The guy raised his arm, and he went back down. Well, the first minute of this round, Irwin was continuing his dominance. There's the right hand. The second minute, Chucky T had pretty good action. Now in his last 50 seconds, Billy Irwin continuing to pound away at Chucky T from the Blue Horizon in Philadelphia. Well, let's take a look at some action, Teddy, of Billy Irwin. Yeah, here you're going to see him set up this body shot. Real smart. He goes to the head first, and then he goes, bop, see the arm went up? Put it in there. Well, as we begin round number 4, Billy Irwin and Chucky T embarking upon a 10-round lightweight bout. Good round number 1 for the Philadelphia fighter, Chucky T, but since then, Billy Irwin has been in control. Back in round number 2, late in the round, a standing 8 count administered because Tschorniawsky was hurt. Chucky T, I'm not quite as good with my pronunciation as gutsy as you are, so I'll just take the easy way, and I say Chucky T. He's got to get on that horse. He can't stay in front of Irwin, especially when those body punches start coming. And if I was Irwin's people, I'd say one thing. Keep using that left hook to the body all night long. You mentioned, though, that Chucky T's got to get on the horse, but if that's not in his game plan, how do you do it? And now Irwin complaining about a low blow. Anybody can improvise. It doesn't mean he has to be Ali, but he has legs. Use them. Box a little bit. Step out, like the old timers would say. Take a walk downtown. One thing that hurts you with prosperity early, Irwin had the prosperity early, is sometimes you fall into the trap of saying, I'll throw one at a time, I can hurt the guy anytime I want. And then the guy can have moments, the guy can out-hustle you. And that's what Irwin's doing right now. But he figures he'll hurt him when he wants to. That can be dangerous. Because right now, Chucky T is having a decent round. Because Irwin is doing nothing. Now, if Irwin was in a fight where it's a little bit more dangerous, he wouldn't be doing that. Where he felt that there was a little bit more doubt. Nice combination from Irwin. It seems that if Irwin wants, he can pick apart Chucky T. It just seems that he's taking some time off every now and then.
sometimes guys, and I'm not saying this, sometimes guys see they have a big edge, they see they don't have a big punch in front of them, they look to carry a guy to get some work. I'm not saying that's the case here. Sometimes that happens, but it usually happens at lower levels when a guy has a real tomato can in front of him. That's not the case tonight. And that's always a danger too, because headbutts, nobody can account for that. Nobody can control that.
Well, a better round for Chucky T after rounds 2 and 3 were dominated by Billy Irwin. Coming up in our main event, Richard DeJesus out of Wilmington, Delaware, born in Puerto Rico, will fight former bantamweight champion Orlando Canizales. DeJesus 13-5 with 4 knockouts. He's had some hand problems over the last couple of years, so he has not been very active. Round number 5 underway between Billy Irwin and Chucky T. Tschorniawsky in the blue, Irwin in the red. Chucky T hurt near the end of round number 2, a standing 8 count administered. There's a right hand from Irwin, and then he tries hooking to the body, Teddy.
Yeah, the reason Irwin got hit, not Irwin, but Chucky T got hit with that right hand is he lays his head over on his right. If he laid it on the left, he'd be outside the right hand of Irwin. He wouldn't be in danger. Irwin does, it's his temperament, it's his style, it's his makeup. He gives guys moments to get back in the fight.
Take a look at some punch numbers in round number 4. And you see that Chucky T a bit busier, but not that much more accurate.
You know, he gets an A when it comes to guts, though, because this Chucky T has plenty of guts, especially after those body shots he took earlier in the fight. And those linger with you, and here he is, not showing the effect of it.
Coming into the fight, Chucky T, 17 bouts, 72 rounds, an average of 4.2 rounds a fight. For Irwin in his 26 pro bouts, an average of 6.7 rounds per bout. But in his last 12, he's averaged nearly 10 rounds a bout. So sort of illustrates not a man a very big puncher.
One thing Irwin's doing well here is he's using his jab in between those dead spots instead of doing nothing. Very smart.
Take a look at Teddy's scorecard through 4 rounds.
This has been an easy one to score so far. The rounds that have been won by the guy, it was clear.
Now, in the last round, you saw that Chucky T had landed a couple more punches and threw a few more, but Irwin with the more meaningful shots in the round.
And that's what carries the weight in professional boxing. At least it's what's supposed to. Who lands the more meaningful, harder, more effective punches? Because you know why they designed it that way. You want to put fannies in the seats.
Thank you, George Steinbrenner.
When a guy has a good chin, Chucky T has a pretty good chin, you got to do 2 things. Irwin, that is. Put them together and go to the body, which he's done. Those old great Mexican fighters with great cement chins, you go to the body on them. Sometimes you have a chance there. Even guys with good chins, they start to change.
Well, not a super round for Billy Irwin, but not a very effective round at all for Chucky T. The intimate setting known as the Blue Horizon, the legendary Blue Horizon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. Welcome you back to Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. Don't forget the main event, Orlando Canizales and Richard DeJesus, plus our look back at the legendary career of Archie Moore, who passed away earlier this week at the age of 84. Right now, Billy Irwin and Chucky T going at it, and so far Irwin has controlled this bout. Teddy, what about the advice given to Chuck Tschorniawsky in between rounds 5 and 6?
Well, they figured if it worked for the other guy, it might work for them, and that is go to the body is what they told him. They figure Irwin's got a pretty good chin. He got a better chance of affecting him downstairs.
Right hand to the ear by Irwin.
And they also know that guy's not a big punch, I think, and they know he's behind in a fight. And even when you're not a big puncher, you can get a little something in those body shots and hurt a guy if you hit him right.
Let's take a look at the overall numbers through the 5 rounds. You see that Chucky T's been a bit busier, but you see Irwin so much more accurate, and Irwin has landed the much more effective scoring blows.
There's no doubt about that. Chucky T has been known to be cut in fights. Tonight that hasn't been a problem. Just getting hit has been a problem.
Again, it seems that Irwin has sort of pulled back on the throttle. We're not seeing that pounding left hook to the body. We're not seeing that straight right hand that works so effectively. We're not even seeing much of a jab here.
Does he want to carry him a little bit, go some rounds when he figures he has everything in his favor? He can take that chance a little bit? Or is it just his temperament? It's a lot his temperament. As we said, there's some guys that just have that temperament. Lopez against Page, again, had many chances to knock out Page, you would think, the other night, if he would be consistent with his hand movement. But it's not his temperament. He's a guy that falls asleep, a guy that lets you out-hustle.
Now, Irwin blocking a lot of those shots, but Chucky T able to win the hearts of the judges.
See, this is where rounds can all of a sudden be tough and subjective. Real hard to score. Like you said, Chucky T's throwing a lot that are being blocked. The other guy's not throwing as many, but they're placed better. That's what's supposed to count, like that. Right hand to the body, left hook on top. Good combination. Get the guy to drop his hand a little bit. The top one catches him. Sometimes the first punch is a setup punch. The second and third are the real meaningful punches. Because you can't just throw and land when you're in there with a guy who knows what he's doing. You have to set it up.
Irwin had Chucky T hurt badly near the end of round number 2. For the most part, he's controlled this bout, but as he let Chucky T stay in it too long. Balcony seats are very good seats at the Blue Horizon, and Billy Irwin and Chucky T begin round number 7 of their scheduled 10-round lightweight bout. Billy Irwin out of Toronto, Canada in the red, and Chucky T out of North Philadelphia in the blue. And now Joe O'Neill takes Chucky T back to his corner, and I guess a little too much Vaseline there, huh, Teddy?
That's what the ref said, and he's the boss. I always wondered about that move. That can't really hurt you. All it does is protect the guy, make the punches slide a little bit more.
Well, maybe, I guess, if there's too much, glob of it, maybe they're scared it might get into the other guy's eye.
That's possible, and you're right.
There's some body shots from Irwin. Looks like Billy Irwin has awakened.
Yeah, he fights in spots, but this round he's fighting at the beginning, which he hasn't been doing. He's usually been a little slow at the beginning of the rounds, except the second. But he's so experienced, you can see how he uses experience. At the end of rounds, the last few rounds, he opened up just to steal the rounds in case he needed to impress the judges.
Well, you and I disagreed in the last round how we scored it. You gave the last round to Irwin. I gave it to Chucky T.
Yeah, because Chucky T, to me, scored only on the arms. The other guy, even if he didn't throw a real lot, scored cleaner. Both guys had pretty good amateur careers. The better amateur career, though, was Billy Irwin. He represented Canada in the '92 Olympics in Barcelona. Lost his first fight there to a Filipino, but he was in the Olympics. He has the range there, Billy. When he knows he's at the right range, he can take a little nap there. He knows that the other guy is out of punching range.
Teddy's scorecard through 6 rounds, 59-54 for Irwin. We differ in round 6. 10-8 round in round number 2. Chucky T was given a standing 8 count after Irwin poured it on in the last minute of the round.
One thing Chucky's doing wrong, he's standing in front. Instead of standing in front, if you're not going to get off, get out. But now he's punching. He's doing okay. But don't stand in front if you're not going to punch. Get out. Don't stand there. You get beat to the punch. See, Irwin has no respect for the power of Chucky T right now. You can see it in his face. He figures when I want to open up, he can be real coy in there. He can be real slick, real confident in there right now.
Right hand from Irwin sends Chucky T backward into the ropes.
Chucky has a lot of problems in front of him tonight. Now the body punch is going to be coming. You just know it. There it is.
And referee Joe O'Neill steps in with another standing 8 count.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And there's the bell to end round number 7, but a flurry at the end of the round by Billy Irwin.
One's the world champion. And in that light heavyweight division, they left out battling Levinsky. A few years ago, though. Long time ago. But he was a world champion as a light heavyweight.
Well, we start round number 8. Billy Irwin pounding away at Chucky T, who does not like the body shot, and he looks to the referee to stop it.
This one's going to be over.
Joe O'Neill stops it. Boy, you can see that body shot, which Chucky T was susceptible to all night long. And finally, Chucky T took a look at Joe O'Neill and sort of gave him that cheapest look like, well, it's okay now to step in and stop it.
You know, this was a tough situation for Chucky T. I mean, this was the first time he was scheduled to go to 10 rounds, and a tough time to step up to 10 rounds. He had never been over 8.
Okay, let's take a look at the end of the bout. Right hand to the body scored, and then that left hand to the ribs.
And that was the punch that influenced this whole fight. Let's face it, that left hook, if you pick one punch that dominated this fight, it was the left hook to the liver.
Take one more look at it.
See how he sets it up here? He throws a right hand and then comes up the middle, creates the openings, and then goes back downstairs. Upstairs and then downstairs. A lot of guys go downstairs and then up. He goes up and then down, and he stays there. And so the referee is forced to come in.
It worked well in round 2, it worked in round 7, and it works early in round number 8. For the official time of the stoppage of Billy Irwin's 14th knockout, here's Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 23 seconds of the 8th round. The winner by technical knockout, Billy the Kid Irwin.
So Billy Irwin gets his first stoppage in 8 bouts. He's now 24-3, 14 knockouts. Chucky T suffers his second loss of his professional career. Don't forget, we still have Orlando Canizales and Richard De Jesus in our main event.